And welcome to my cyberspace. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what do data analysts do. In case you're kind of curious if you really want to get into the data analysis field, or you've been doing this for like a while and you're probably not sure if this is something you want to do for long, in this video I'm going to be talking about what do data analysts do. And also, even though you're a data analyst, you're going to learn more about like what other data analysts do. And one of the things you need to know is that data analyst field is one of like the dynamic tech field, compared to other fields that have like a lot of governance as to how you need to do things. For example, like accounting or finance, that you need to get this XYZ certification, you need to do this before you could eventually excel in the field, or they are like just different rules and regulation. Data analysis is a little bit very interesting because a whole lot of times we have different data experts doing different things. In fact, you could meet somebody who say, "Oh, I'm a data scientist," and what they do is the same thing as what you do when you call yourself a business analyst or a data analyst. And you meet somebody that called themselves a fellow data analyst, and what they do is entirely different from what you're doing, and it's more like they're speaking a foreign language. So it's a very vast field. There's a whole lot, like there is a research aspect of it. It's just very amazing that there's even the qualitative analysis. So the qualitative, I don't want to go drive into it, but just a summary of it is it doesn't deal more with numbers. It's more about you're trying to analyze a bunch of text. And in case you don't want like numbers, you could actually be a data analyst and not work with numbers as it were. But it's just using all of these qualitative tools. So there's just a bunch of things that we do, but I'm going to talk about like one of the most important things or the overarching things that we do as data analysts. Now let's get right into it. So let's we're just gonna do this in a very fun way. So we turn raw numbers into insights. We spot trend patterns and number. We turn messy data into clean charts. So I'm just going to start right into like turning raw numbers into insights. You actually have a lot of numbers that um everybody probably in some way like collects data. You probably go to the store, you're trying to write down what you bought. But imagine like you do that like every day, you go to the store every day and you try to record for like a whole lot of people. So that's necessarily like what the company does. So the company gets data so that they could use their data to be able to make decision or to be able to avoid the problem. So what data analysts do, we also show something. We try to find out what is actually occurring, or we try to prove assumptions or disprove assumptions. So if somebody says XYZ, then you could let's look at the data. Is this statistically like possible, or is the data actually saying the right thing? So that's one of the things we do as data experts. So we make magic with numbers. Also, one of the things we do is we spot trends, pattern, and answers. So like you already found, like looked at the data, even without even running your analysis, you could spot some trend. You do this every day also as a person, like you're trying to know, oh, why is it that every Saturday or during the festive period like expenses go up, or that's when you see company trying to run sales. So they looked at the data and they made a business decision from that. So that's one of the things we do as data experts. We also turn messy data into like clean charts. So this is majority of what we do. Like the data in the real world is messy. We try to make it ready for analysis, and that actually requires a whole lot of thinking. You need to be familiar with like the data in the first place before you can even try to make it usable for your analysis. So let's go right into the next one. So core work of a data analyst, SQL and sheets. We turn it into a clean sheet. We also create dashboards by telling stories with the dashboard. We answer business questions. So the business has a question, we try to look at the data to answer the question. Also, we use the dashboard to tell stories, and the sheets here could be like your Excel data. So just a bunch of things that we do, or you try to even make a report ready for the business. Beyond just analysis, what are the things that we do? So there is data scientists, there's data engineers, there's business intelligence analysts which who build dashboard, there's business analysts that work on strategy. So what I'm trying to communicate with this aspect of this is the fact that as a data analyst, we don't work in silos. For the data to be ready, there has to be some form of processing. So that's probably where the data engineer comes in place, and they try to get the data ready. They then give it to the they give it to the data scientists and data analysts, and the data analysts try to look at, okay, what does this number say. The data scientist looks further and say, what would this be like in the future? But like I said, a lot of times people call themselves different names and they do different things as data experts. So there are different aspects of data analysis that you could venture into. In another video, I'm going to be talking about like what are the various type of data roles that you think might be of interest to you if you don't really want to go into the traditional data analysis role. And wrap up, so data analyst is, we are like inside detective. So we show numbers, show action and impact, and data is fun, and that's one of the very thing I wanted to say. So in case you're looking for a very fun role, this is actually like a very fun role to be. If you're uncertain, try that out, try a bunch of other aspects of data analysis, and it might be something you love. And if you don't love it, maybe you're not just find something that you love and do. But if this video was a value for time, do well to subscribe, follow and share. Thank you. Ciao.